is, right? And then if you go all the way north, here's Minnesota. And then Canada is right north of us. So we're right on the United States and Canadian border. To the right here is Lake Superior. So there are 5 what are called Great Lakes. And so Superior is the largest Great Lake, and it's almost like an ocean, it's so big. But it's fresh water. So that means that it's not ocean water, not salt water, and you can drink it. And Minnesota is on the border of Lake Superior, but then we also have 10,000 more lakes in the state. So the state of Minnesota has a lot of water and is very, very green. And like I said before, we have, let me see if I can, my screen is not showing up, but we have, this is one of the lakes. I don't think this is Lake Superior. And then we have another very large lake called Lake of the Woods that is half in Minnesota and half in Canada. But beyond that, we have lakes everywhere particularly the northern part of Minnesota. And so in the north of Minnesota, you have many lakes and pine trees, what some people also call evergreen trees, which means that even in the very cold winter, they still maintain green. Whereas the other leaves like maple trees and birch trees, they have leaves. And then when it gets cold in the fall, the leaves turn color like red and orange and yellow. And then the leaves fall off during the winter. And then when it gets to be warm again in the spring, then the leaves come back. They bud and they blossom into leaves. And then we have green trees all summer. So Minnesota has 4 very distinct seasons: winter, spring, summer, and fall. And right now, excuse me, we are currently in the early part of fall. So right now the temperature is starting to get colder. In the summer, it can be fairly warm. It can be 30, 35 degrees Celsius sometimes, but it's usually pretty comfortable. Maybe for us, 25 degrees Celsius, and maybe a little cooler. And then this fall, it will start to get colder and colder and colder. And soon it will, in the next month or two, it will become 0 degrees Celsius and it will be frozen. And then it will get colder and colder and colder. And so it can get as cold as minus 40 degrees Celsius in Minnesota. So very, very cold, even colder than a freezer in a refrigerator. If you have refrigerators with a freezer, Minnesota can be colder than the freezer that you have. And so we are in the middle of having the leaves change color, and eventually we will be into the winter. And so this is winter for those trees that have leaves that fall. You can see the snow. And so we will have snow for about 3 months in the winter. And so in the summer, we go swimming and we go canoeing and we go hiking in the woods and even camping. And there's many activities. In the winter, it's cold. And so we go snowmobiling with machines that are made for the snow. We ski, we do winter skiing, and we do ice skating. The lakes get cold and frozen, and so you can walk on a lake because it's completely frozen. And then if you have ice skates, you can skate on the lake too. And when it gets really cold, which is about January, it gets so cold, and the ice is so thick that you can actually drive a car on top of the lake. And so we have very distinct seasons every single year. And so, and as Minnesotans, we really enjoy having our seasons. And we have what's called, excuse me, the Boundary Waters Canoe Area, which is an area in northern Minnesota where you cannot use motors or engines. And so you can only walk or hike. You can get a canoe and you can paddle, but you cannot have a motor to push your boat around, a boat motor. And so many people like to go up to the Boundary Waters and go camping for several days just to have it be very, very quiet and very peaceful. There are many wildlife. You can see there are mountain lions or cougars. There are moose. There are bears. And there are like raccoons. So there's many different kinds of wildlife. And so people love in Minnesota, love to be able to go out in the country and be quiet and peaceful. And one other thing about Minnesota is that it is called an agriculture state, which means that we have a lot of farming. So in